Maybe. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining tonight. It is Tuesday night and our team call. And tonight we're going to dive into the back office. It's going to be some great information on ordering, how to place the orders, but how to benefit, truly benefit from your orders. Because if you guys did not know, we are a lot like Costco, where when you buy the business executive card membership, you get 2% back. That is more or less what we can do here and how you guys can get paid back, but you have to help yourself in order to do that. So we're going to talk about that tonight and just some different tricks with that. Before I start that though, I'm going to take just a personal moment because life hits you in different ways. And as much as we like to share things with other people and train and teach and coach, sometimes you really don't honestly know how much that training comes into play until you go through it yourself. So I am going through probably, they always say the worst stress in your life comes from debt, and it's death, debt, and what's the third? Oh, divorce. I'm none of those. But what I did go through was the experience of trying to buy a house, and then I did not get it. And I just found out 2 hours ago, I'm not getting this house. But I wanted to kind of express that, and if you saw my live video, I did kind of go into detail with this. I really honestly believe that all the personal development that we are being offered through Isogenics and just the way we work together as a team, our support system, Growth You, Healthy Mind and Body, and all of that helped Brad and I to be in a really super good place. Right now I have a house in Iowa that's flooding. There's water all over the basement and nobody knows why. And it's a furnished basement, finished. And then we did not get this house, but I prayed and prayed and prayed that, it would be the best thing for us. So either the sellers accept what we needed to do, or the bank did not approve us, if it was not the right house for us, or if it was, then for it to go through. And I was okay. I woke up perfectly fine with, whatever happens, it wasn't meant to be. And I've said that to sellers and buyers in the past, but until you actually go through it. So if I haven't said it to you guys with anything about your business or your weight loss or anything like that, it is exactly the same thing. And sometimes things are meant to be. I don't know why this is meant to be yet, and I may never know why. All I know is I'm actually relieved. And Linda, you're on the call right now. If you want to mute out real fast. Linda's kind of gone through this journey with me because Linda just closed on her house just a couple days ago. And I actually am relieved. I went back into the house tonight and I wasn't in love with it as much as I was, and it kind of smelled, and I'm like, interesting. So it's very interesting how God does all of this stuff to you. And I honestly, and Susan, you're married to a pastor, probably for the first time in my life, in the last 24 to 48 hours, I honestly let it all go and let God happen. And that's hard for a person like me who's always in control and I can fix everything. And this was the first time where I didn't try to fix it. And I did everything I could to fix it earlier. And then when I found out there was nothing else I could do, I just had to let it go and let God happen. And I feel that he's completely on our side about this. And this is what was supposed to be and how it was meant to happen. And it's very relieving, calming, relaxing. And as crazy as that sounds, because we've wasted so much money. It's unbelievable. We've gone through, or we could have gone through the most stress that people can tend to go through in these situations. And none of that happened. It was all right. It was all okay. It was all this was supposed to be. This is going to be better for us. And we're going to get through this. No problem. We're not even worried about that. But it's crazy. So honestly, when you hear those words and you feel them, and you know that that's what you need to do, rather than get upset or stressed out or angry or any of those things, really just try to, whatever is meant to be is supposed to happen. And God is always going to lead me on the right path. So that's my little soapbox for tonight. I have a lot of pastors' wives on the call, so thank you guys for letting me go through that. Now I'm going to give you guys some training. All right, who's excited for some training? Who's been loving the Facebook training, by the way? Who's really putting it to use? I don't care how much of it you're putting to use, but putting it to use. something every single day. Excellent. Just a little something. And I've been talking to Jim a lot. Jim is a fantastic mentor. I really love working with him, and he has more projects coming up for us that I'm hoping to get at a really good deal for us. But he's like, ultimately for what I'm looking for, he's like, you need to reach out to 30 people a week or a day. And I'm like, Jim, I just can't do it. He's like, okay, then start with 10. It's like, honestly, just be consistent and start with that 10. And no matter what you do, be consistent in every single thing you do. So if you guys are only reaching out to 3 people or 5 people or whatever it is, just be consistent with that. And even with all this other craziness that's been going on in our lives right now, I have always stayed focused to the business. For one, if we were to get this house, I needed the extra money. So I didn't let anything happen. I told Linda, I'm like, this morning I easily could have crawled in bed and watched movies and never come out because I was sad. But instead I got to work, and I did more work than I normally do. And lots of great things. Oh, thank you, Linda. Lots of great things are happening. And I honestly believe that that's my reward from God of not letting myself get down. I didn't mean for this to be a religious talk, but it's going to be a little bit. But I didn't let myself get down. I didn't let myself dive into the hole. I got out and I rose and I got to work and I got to help people and and I'm changing other people's lives. Even if mine isn't great right now, they're not going to know that. And actually really, it's really not. So anyways, I got to get off my soapbox and get back to training you guys. So here, we're going to share the screen. So Teresa, you're getting an interesting call from me right now. Talk to Fiona. She'll tell you it's not always like this. All right, guys, can you all see my screen? Perfect. Okay. If you guys want to unmute, if your background is not loud, please go ahead and unmute. This is one where you may have questions. And if you have a question, someone else is going to have that question. So please go ahead and speak out loud and kind of talk to me about your thoughts. What's going on. So I'm just going to assume at this point everyone knows how to make their own orders, correct? And I cannot see all of you. So if you are going to ask a question or make a statement, I need you to either speak up or chat, because I can only see, for you guys, so I can only see Teresa, Susan, and Jai. All right, now we have the ability, like I was saying with Costco, to make money off of our own orders. And the way that happens is when we put orders under other people or our own orders or whatever it is, we can bank on that. So what I mean by that is you have to be a consultant. That's the only way this is actually going to pay you, is if you're a consultant or higher. However, you can bank points. And when you bank BV and PV, it becomes a savings account. And you don't need anyone that you personally enrolled to help with that. So that can just be you. I might be a little all over the board. My head's a little crazy. So if it doesn't make sense, please go ahead and question me and stop that. But in reality, when you guys place your order of 100 BV or more to stay active, you're going to receive the business volume from every other team member that's underneath you. It does not matter if you personally enrolled them or not. Anyone, when you look at let's just look at the view team. I think I'm already there. But if you go to view placement tree, okay. All right. So anyone that's underneath you, if you look at your box, anyone, I think you can see my cursor, right? Any of these people that are underneath me, I'm going to receive business volume from, as long as I am active. And if you're 99 BV, you do not get the points. It's every 30 days we have to stay active with that business, with that 100 BV. Now, people have always asked us, can I half my orders? Sure, as long as you're on auto ship and it's a total of 100 BV during that entire 30 days. So for an example, if you order 50 BV on the 15th and then you order another 50 BV on the 30th, you're considered active. But if you don't order another 50 BV on the next 15th of the month, you will lose your business volume. As long as it's 100 BV every single day, you're fine. And you have to be on auto ship. So when you enroll people and you do not enroll them on auto ship, or if they enroll themselves off your website and they don't put themselves on auto ship, they will not accumulate any of this business volume that is available to them until that happens. And that's really important. It doesn't matter what their auto ship is, as long as there's something. Now, worst case scenario, you've got someone extremely skeptical. They don't necessarily think that they want to continue this next month. I still recommend, let's still put you on the same pack that you ordered. And you can always change it. You can change it, edit it, cancel it, whatever you want, as long as you do it the day before it, it actually goes through, which is this day. And as a leader, if you can keep track of their auto ship dates when they first begin, that is best. And then connect with them. You should be connecting with them before. I always try to connect people like on day 10, day 12, or day 14, kind of go through the back office, teach them how to order, and talk to them about what their next order in auto ship is going to be. But if it doesn't happen, as long as it happens before their next shipment, you're fine. Now with that, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Might be kind of that type of night. If you can order anything, you can order any amount. So even if they just want Ionics, maybe they're, again, extremely skeptical, but they're like, I love that Ionics. Great. Let's put that on auto ship for you. You can always add more, not a problem. If they're still extremely skeptical, you can do the Make-A-Wish donation, and some people will do it for $1. Now, that's okay. But if you automatically do that, and if you automatically put anyone that you enroll on auto ship, you're setting them up to not expect to order. If you set them up for the same pack that they initially wanted, you're setting them up for, okay, I'm going to continue. This is great. This is how much it's going to cost next month. I'll prepare for that. I'm ready to go. But if they're set up for $1, all right, cool. So I lost $1. No big deal. I'll figure that out at some point. So we have to mentally set people up correctly. So make sure you do that. But those are options, just so you know all three of those things are options. If they are not on auto ship, they will not only not bank the points, but they also cannot receive consultant bonus. So in order for them to rank advance, if they have their 2 people and they're active, if one of the 3 are not on auto ship, or I'm sorry, they have to be on auto ship. Their other people don't have to be on auto ship. But if one of the 3 is not active, they don't rank advance. That's not true. All 3 have to be on auto ship in order for them to rank advance. Now, it can happen the last day. So let's just say, for an example, Sue brings in John and Joe. Sue is active. John is active. Joe's the last one to come in. Sue's not on auto ship, but she's active. Joe comes in. She'll receive any PIBs from that, and it will not get business volume, so she will not get cycles, and she will not get the consultant bonus. Now, if she turns around and just puts herself on auto ship, she's set. So it's very important to set people up immediately on auto ship. Also, and this was a problem that we had before, when you enroll people, make sure on that first initial enrollment form, see if I can get to that. When you initially enroll people, and I did a separate call on this, you need to check all of, oh, sorry, I was there, guys. You need to, so I always just go bottom left, bottom right, by the way. When you enroll someone, don't try to find their spot and teach other people not to try to find their spot. Just hit bottom left, bottom right, and then it will go to the right place. All right, how can I do this? There we go. All right, and by the way, you're seeing all my flags because I am signed up for international sponsorship. If you are not signed up for international sponsorship, which is $50 a year, you will not receive business volume from any of the other people that are underneath you. It does not matter if you personally brought them in or if someone else did. So just know we are starting to spread ourselves out throughout the world. And if you have people underneath you anywhere along the tree, other than Canada, Canada is automatically included, you do not get that business volume unless you sign up for it. But this in particular is what I'm talking about right here, where you see those it's automatically checked for the emails. Leave that. Then you also need to put in their phone number. Let's make up a phone number. And you need to check these boxes. Now, even if they tell you, I don't want to do this as a business, I don't want anything to do with this, you still need to check that. And there's reasons why. For one, the company sends out information on discounted products, like we have our buy one, get one free bars right now. They won't get that information. We send anything out, all the fun things that come out that, we're not getting that much stuff. Just tell them you're not going to get that much stuff, but I'm going to have the company email you. They won't get confirmation on their orders. If they are getting paid, they're not going to get confirmation about their payment. So I had a leader, actually a director, not even know that was available because her upline didn't check those boxes or train them how to check those boxes. And so she wasn't receiving any information about that. Didn't even know. So all the people she enrolled were not getting those boxes checked. And they were not getting that information. That's extremely important. Very important to do that. All right, so let's go back. How can you receive the money like from Costco? All right, so we're going to go back to the view placement tree. Oops. And how many of you, and I cannot see, but maybe you guys can see. Let me try to bring you guys back up. How many of you have enrolled a spouse or a partner? All right. When you enroll a spouse or a partner, you can see Brad's right there, okay? Brad has not always been active, just so you guys know that, but I put his spot on the tree immediately. I also have my children in here as well, but we can talk about that on a whole different training. But Brad got the first spot. It doesn't matter if it's the first spot or not, but I did automatically bring him in right away. We just started making him active when he started taking this seriously as a business. Up until then, I did not worry about keeping him active, but I do renew his and my children's spot every year because I want everyone to have a spot on the tree. My mother, my mother-in-law, my brother, I've got everyone on here because you never know what's going to happen and you never know what they want from this. My mother-in-law, who really truly does not want anything to do with this, you guys are going to freak when you see this. She has 2,630 BV. All right, crazy, right? She cycled a little bit. She actually was a consultant, but this is what is really important. And I'll tell you how she has this. She's got 2,976 BV personal volume, and then she had some leftover BV. She has stayed active from day one of us joining this company together. She has been active. So she has stored all this business volume because she's been active for 4.5 years. It's a lot of money. Now, I want to teach you guys how to calculate this. So as you're speaking to your associates or friends or whatever, and they're talking about not being active this one time, that's okay, but just so you understand what's going to happen because you're not active this one time. In her case, all right, this is a lot of BB, a lot. I'm going to take her points and divide it by 600 because she's going to have her left and right side. Her left side is where the majority of the points need to come from. She can bank those points until she's ready to put them to use and become a consultant again, but she doesn't receive the money until that happens. Once she starts enrolling people and bringing her left side into play, that will be more of her minor point side. So the company's going to grab 600 from one side and 300 from the other. And every time she does that, she gets a cycle. She has 4,333 cycles saved. All right. It's $234,000. So I like to share that with her occasionally when she talks about quitting her job and what she wants to do and, well, you know, where she wants. I'm like, you know, you have a large savings account with us. You have to work to receive it. All you need to do is bring in people and then really start building that left side, and all of that money will come to you. But it is up to you to do that. So whenever people talk about not being active, and I don't care if they have 1,000 points or 5,000 points or 10,000 points, it doesn't matter. That is a savings account for someone. Now, the reason she has the 2,976 BV personal volume is because she's not a consultant right now. And so anything that we order above 100 BV goes into our personal volume. As a consultant or higher, it will just go to your leg that doesn't have quite as many points as business volume. So just know, whenever you're ordering more than 100 BV, you're getting those points. Again, kind of like Costco. Is it PV or BV? Really, truly doesn't matter until you become a consultant and make that money. So don't worry about that. But that money comes back to you once you become a consultant. Now, what I love to tell my mother-in-law, let's just calculate that. $2,976. I'm going to take that divided by 300. That's 9.92 cycles times $54.11. Yes, 500 and, is that right? Seems like it should be more. Hold on. Times 54.11. She has $536 just waiting for her. Well, actually, that's not true. She has, because she has $542. So she's almost to 600. So she's got roughly $636 just waiting for her. Once she brings in 2 people, she's going to start, she'll make that $600 immediately. Let me know if you guys have any questions about that. But because she has personal volume stored and she has money or her points on the left side and plenty on her right side, as soon as she brings in someone on her left and on her right, she will receive those cycles immediately, and those cycles turn into cash. All right. Now, what I like to do when I have excess orders, I don't automatically put them in my spouse's account because he's all the way up at the top of my tree. I want to give it to the person at the bottom of my tree. So I usually ask for permission, and whoever is loud in the background, if you wouldn't mind muting out, that'd be great. Thank you. Thanks, Jay. All right, so whenever I have an extra order, I'm not going to keep that to myself. I could. It doesn't make a difference to me if I place it in my own account or somebody else's account, because I'm automatically going to get that business volume. That makes sense to everybody, right? Just speak up or chat if it does not. But if I take it and I put it on someone who's at the bottom of the tree, then everyone else that's in between me and that person, and actually all the way up to whomever, Jimmy Smith or whoever, wherever all the way at the top goes, I don't even know. All of us receive that extra BV. So I want to benefit as many team members as I possibly can. So you do need permission to get into their account, and you do need their password. When I enroll people, if I personally enroll them and I do the information, I usually typically give very similar passwords, and I write it down, because there's no way you're going to remember all of them. And sometimes they don't even remember their own passwords, especially if they're not getting into their account very often. So you need to have that record of their passwords so that you guys can easily communicate to each other. And I always ask them when I enroll them, especially if they're potential business builders, occasionally I place orders under other people's accounts. Is it okay if I go into your account and place that order? I cannot hurt you whatsoever. I cannot take from you whatsoever. All the information in your account I already have anyways. I can only benefit you. I've never had anyone say no. Sometimes they question it, they want more information, but once they understand it, they're like, absolutely. Now, I pick people, and I pick different people in particular. For one, you should always do your personally enrolleds, okay? You can go to people that you haven't personally enrolled, but you should work with your personally enrolleds a lot in that regards. I want to pick people, either they're at the bottom, so I can benefit everyone, and I have the feeling that they're going to continue, because you're giving them personal volume. You're giving them a gift. But it's a question that they may not stay, and they may not continue to be active every single month, then you're wasting those points on someone. So you want to make sure that you give it to someone who's actually going to benefit from them. You're never going to know. Sometimes you're going to be burned. Sometimes it works out great. But just use your gut feeling as much as possible. And so I think for one, if they're a potential business builder and they're brand new, like Teresa, brand new on with us tonight, Teresa would be a great person to go in and say, hey, I've got an extra order, which we don't always have extra orders, so don't always expect us to, but sometimes we do. And can I put that account or that order underneath you? Teresa's then going to receive that personal volume that once she becomes a consultant, she benefits from and she'll actually make money from, which is really super cool. I also reward leaders that I know are working really super hard. I'll go in. There's been times where Linda will see me in her account all the time because she was really working hard and I wanted to reward her, and I had a bunch of orders coming in. And so I'll go in and just place that so Linda can cycle more. I want my leaders to cycle as much as possible. And we also do make, as an executive, you make money every time your leaders cycle, but I want my leaders to cycle and make money. So that's kind of how I choose where I put it, preferably at the bottom. That's my biggest preference, is at the bottom so that everybody can gauge. Okay, what kind of questions do you guys have so far? We have 10 minutes left, and I want to make sure I answer a bunch of questions. Yes, there's a chat.
Hey, Stephanie.
Yeah.
All right. So just to clarify so everybody understands, 100 BV is approximately what, $165 per month? Okay. That's what I just want to make sure.
Thank you. And that's a great thing to bring up, Jai, because when you're speaking to people and they ask you, how much is this going to cost me every single month to keep my account active? It all depends on what you want to buy, but the average comes out to right around 167 if you're going right for the minimum. So that's good to point out because people want to figure that out. If people are in this for the weight loss, I really try to keep them on that 30-day system. No one needs to reorder a pace setter, and no one needs to reorder a Prezi. Sorry, using old names. But they don't need to reorder that because of the free enrollment in the blender. You don't need that stuff. Now, as a leader, you may want more of the premium packs and more of the value packs. And the reason that I do that, if I'm bringing in someone and I need a bunch of stuff and they live near me and we have a relationship like that, I'm probably going to go ahead and work a deal with them if at all possible. And it may not be possible because it all has to go onto one credit card. But there are times where I have worked deals with people with, hey, you're already ordering the premium pack. I need to get some vitamins. Do you mind if I just bump that up? We'll work out the payment and I get a larger pack. And when you do that, you get the vitamins, you get a higher commission, and you have the $75 event coupon. You may or may not keep those extra things. You may just go ahead and let them have them, or the event coupon or something. You know, you guys have to work that out. But there's a lot of times where that's how I'll get my vitamins and extra event coupons. And that's $75. When you guys are going to events and you can pay half price or get half of it discounted, that is a huge savings. So there are times where I will certainly order extra premium or extra value packs to get that discount, to get the free enrollment, to get the vitamins, and I go through a lot of blenders. When you're blending shakes for 5 people, anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week, the blenders do die out. So having extra blenders is not a bad thing when you've been in this business for a while. Plus, you can use them as gifts or promotions or different things. Okay, other questions about that? Or anything that we've covered so far? All right, I can go on and tell you about a few more things. I think we have about 8 minutes left. Is there 7 minutes? Is there something in particular about the back office or something that you want to know? Otherwise,
Stephanie,
Yep.
Heather had asked about the minor children in the chat.
Sure. Thank you. I'm not watching chat, so please let me know that. Thank you. Now, You guys know I'm a rule breaker, so you got to just go with that as much as possible and understand that. It's not something I can change or that I want to change. But so Rod has not helped me change that one. But bringing in minor children, we are allowed to bring in preferred members for 2 years. And then after 2 years, they are supposed to be upgraded to the associate. There's no charge to upgrade anyone at any time, except unless it's their regular annual fee. But you are supposed to. Now, I have not with my children. I have just re-enrolled them every year in the same spot. I don't have them on auto ship, and I do not have their account active. So I pay the $39 every year to enroll each of them, $39 each, and they have been able to keep their spot. Now, if your children are 16 or 17 years of age, you should definitely be enrolling them as a preferred member. Get them on that tree, and then as soon as they become 18, enroll them as or upgrade them as an associate without a question. Up to you if you do your children that are really super young, because there is that rule, all right? And that rule can be taken away from me, or their spots can be taken away from me at any time, and I'm okay with that. All right? You just have to be okay with whatever happens. It's worth it to test that, in my opinion. Okay, there's some more questions going on. I don't think I can click on them. There we go. All right, you have your 16-year-old. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. And for your 16, 17-year-olds, why do you want to have them enrolled? The goal is because hopefully they will have a very large team underneath them. If they're a preferred member, they cannot order any or they cannot gain any business volume. So that's why I don't care about keeping their account active, because they're not gaining any business volume. But as soon as they turn 18, they can capture the business volume from all of those people that are underneath them. And guys, as you're seeing this business, it gets a little crazy. When we start getting on a roll and everyone really starts to get into sync and working together, and that's happening right now, the enrollments happen and they go up super fast, and you're going to have a ton of people. These kids, here's one of them, will have a very large.
I had a top down.
Okay, good. They will have an extremely large downline if this all works out the way I plan. If it doesn't, it's okay. No big deal. But if it does happen, they have this extremely large downline. If your child's 16, 17, 18 years old, imagine what's going to happen when they're 18 years old and they get to capture all that business volume. They get to start rank advancing and moving and earning money so fast. So fast. All right, great. Do I have my spouse on auto ship? Yes. I said that in the beginning. You may not have been here. I did not immediately put Brad on auto ship, and I did not immediately keep him active. I did once. He was serious about the business, and he's now a consultant. He brought his own people in. I did not bring in any of his people. He's responsible for his own business. We don't build his business right now. And the people we have that are on his left side are strictly just product users. And we know that for a fact. So I was not worried about putting a potential business user underneath him, knowing that he was not going to build that. That might be an entire different conversation. What I did, rather than putting my extra orders under Brad, is I went deep and I went all the way down to the bottom of my tree. I don't care if they go in Brad's account. Now he is on auto ship. We go through a lot of products, so no big deal. Now he's gaining that business volume, and he has all of that. All right, cool. Looking to see if there's other questions.
Hey, Stephanie, I got a question here for you.
Yes.
Is there a difference in price if you place an order through auto ship versus just a regular order?
There is. And you can see that if you look in your catalog. You're not going to see it online, but it's not in, maybe it canceled out. But it used to be in the catalog, and it used to come up on auto ship price, an associate price, and then there used to be a different price in there, and that was for associates that were on auto ship. So maybe not anymore. There used to be, it wasn't a huge discount, but it was enough to tell people that that's how you get the biggest and best discounts is by being an associate on AutoShip. It might be the same.
Okay, because what I do right now is personally, I have my stuff under auto ship for the $1. But prior to that, the date of the auto ship, I go in and place my order under the auto ship. And as I noticed that everything is discounted, that's why I was asking. And so that plus everybody else sees also.
Right. Good information. Thank you, Jai. And the other thing I wanted to share with that, we always talk to you guys about having your auto ship placed for 29 days or more, or less. The reason for that is because if you're having your auto ship on day 30, you will not gain any of the business volume that happens on the 30th, that last day of the month. And if you take our grace period, we do have a 5-day grace period from the day you're supposed to be active. You have 5 days to place your order. If you take those extra days, you don't gain any of that business volume during that time period. So if you take it on the 29th or 28th, you gain the most business volume possible. All right, guys, we're going to be cut off. This was a lot of information and there's much more. If you continue to have questions or if you want something talked about more, just either private message me or ask about it in the group and I'll make sure to answer it. Thank you guys all so much for joining. I love and appreciate having each and every one of you on the call every Tuesday. If anyone did get the code from tonight, if you can let us know that, we are able to share that code for the free enrollment that was on the call earlier, but only in our group.